और अगली खबर ले लेते हैं। कनाडा में खालिस्तानियों द्वारा देश की पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री इंदिरा गांधी की हत्या पर शर्मनाक हरकत की गई, परेड निकाली गई, झांकियां निकाली गई। इसी पर कांग्रेस इस पूरी बात से नाराज दिखी। कांग्रेस नेताओं ने इस पूरे वाकया की निंदा की और साथ ही साथ आपको बता दें कि सार्वभौमिक प्रतिक्रिया की मांग भी की।
Milind Deora is joining me on the broadcast. Milind, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror. Now, can I start by asking you, what prompted you to put out this tweet?
Well, firstly, I have an old relationship as a family with Indira Gandhi. I had a great fortune of seeing her several times as a young child before she was assassinated. My late father was extremely close to her, so there's a personal connection. But far more than that, as an Indian, it's appalling to see that a country would allow extremist fringe elements to celebrate in a tableau at a parade in a city in Canada, Indira Ji's assassination. And this frankly transcends politics. And when I put this tweet out saying that this deserves universal condemnation cutting across party lines and a united effort to fight extremism, it's a bittersweet moment because it's bitter because it's as I said, it's appalling and disgusting to see that somebody would actually celebrate her assassination in a foreign country. But it's sweet in that people cutting across party lines supported my tweet and demanded condemnation and demanded that the government of India, the Ministry of External Affairs, takes this up with the Canadian High Commission in India and with the Canadian government.
Now, we've also now heard from the External Affairs Minister of India, and he's made a statement that what happened in Brampton is not good for India-Canada relations, and that nothing explains this other than vote bank politics. How do you assess the statement from the External Affairs Minister, and do you think it's enough?
I think that the government of India must lodge a very strong protest with the Canadian government, and I think that the Canadian government must, in turn, feel the pressure of the world's largest democracy to weed out these extremist elements. And to be very candid with you, if this is something if the Congress party was in power and I was a union minister again in the Congress government, and this happened to a BJP or the former prime minister of another party who had been assassinated, I would have lodged the strongest protest. In fact, I would have gone marching to the Ministry of External Affairs and demanded that at the very least they summon the Canadian High Commission and express our strongest displeasure. So a statement is fine, but I think we must ensure that countries like Canada or anywhere else in the world do much more to root out these extremist elements from their society. This is something, as I said, that transcends politics. It transcends the pettiness that we see domestically. Every political party, every Indian should rise above this and should ensure that if an Indian Prime Minister, a great Indian Prime Minister, who, by the way, was praised cutting across party lines, let's not forget, the first BJP Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, called her Durga. If somebody who has been assassinated has been martyred, her assassination is celebrated. Clearly, in the country that it's being celebrated, that country has to introspect and has to do more to weed out these extremists.
But the fact is that Canada hasn't introspected. The fact is that Justin Trudeau has a history when it comes to instances like this. For example, in Canada last year, in the same town, Brampton, just by the way, where the parade was held yesterday, you had a Khalistani referendum. The Indian government had warned the Canadian government that this is going to happen, and yet the Canadian government did simply nothing about it. There is a reason for it. The Sikhs form. They are a huge vote bank. You're saying that we should take this entire issue up more strongly with the Canadians. Question is, will it help? It's not helped in the past. Do you think it'll help this time?
Look, you're making it a Khalistani issue. To me, it's much more than that. As I said, it's a personal issue for me. This is somebody who I knew and my family knew extremely well. And as a person who knew her personally, as a congressman, I'm appalled and extremely perturbed by this development. But this is more than what's happening with Khalistani extremists in Canada. This could happen in another country. It could be another issue. It could be another former prime minister. This should not be allowed.